Hi everyone!
Hey guys!
This is Jasmine from Black Matchmade.
Yes!
And we are super excited. Tonight we're having the program informational for Black Male Entrepreneurship Network.
Yay!
So it came apart because Jasmine and I, we've been going to a whole bunch of different group meets and meetups for young Black women Chicago entrepreneurs, but we didn't see that the men were doing that.
Right.
So us partnered with our friend Jason, we decided to create something just for the men entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
We're cultivating a space where they can get together, they can network, they can use each other. Like, you don't have to be out here by yourself.
Exactly.
And we're putting it together so that they can utilize each other.
Yeah. One of the things that we were noticing is that a lot of the entrepreneurial events were catered to women. They were ran by women. The communication was more of a feminine style. As a matchmaker, I pay attention to femininity and masculinity. And so we wanted to create an environment that would be specific to a masculine energy, right? So if you might have noticed when we just came on, there was Jay-Z music in the background. We have pizza and beer that's going to be here today. And even the cohort that's for new entrepreneurs will be catered to a masculine energy. So because we're both serious about the community overall, we wanted to not just do things that are great for women, but also for Black men as well. And so now we have the Black Male Entrepreneurship Network.
All right, so stay tuned.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
What about like the Bing channel? Is that Evo?
It needs to even care to know if it's evil, especially.
There was a time where we had sustainable economic centers in our communities, and the black dollar rotated several times before leaving. We had black doctors, we had black professional service firms, we had black grocery stores. Basically, any product or service that you needed was provided by someone who looked like you. So how do we go from that to this? How do we go from that to this? A few things happened. First and foremost, a whole generation of black leadership was eradicated. They were either put in jail for political purposes or murdered. An era of mass incarceration led to many brothers being put behind bars at disproportionate weights, leaving our communities behind and leaving their families. What was left was a community that lacked the steady leadership of black males. Our sisters tried to respond, and they're doing a great job by attaining the highest rates of entrepreneurship and the highest rates of college graduation of any racial group. Give them a round of applause. But you know what? They can't do it alone. They support one another, and we got to do the same with ourselves. It's not enough for us to just break bread with our frat brothers or our immediate circle or those that we're just closest to. In order for us to make a true, impactful economic impact, we have to come together so that when we enter our community, the average male entrepreneur goes from looking like this to this. I'm Jason, one of the co-founders of the Black Male Entrepreneurship Network. It's time for us to take back our throne. The Black Male Entrepreneurship Network is a brotherhood of black male entrepreneurs designed to support each other in launching, growing, and sustaining our businesses. Our core values can be represented by our crest. The briefcase stands for success in business. The lion represents leadership in our communities. The crown represents becoming kings of our households. And the fist represents social consciousness. Now, if you're a black man and Trump is your president and you're not woke, that alarm clock about to ring, right? No doubt. We foster black male entrepreneurship in 3 ways: through education, relationship building, and mentorship. The education component consists of a 6-month entrepreneurship program. It's cohort-based. It's going to be 10 people, 10 brothers. They're going to learn everything from launching their mission, vision, marketing strategy, financial projections, everything they need to do to be a successful entrepreneur. And the program is going to culminate with them being in a demo day where all 10 of them pitch their businesses for the opportunity for prizes and other things. We're going to also have a newsletter. So we already have seasoned entrepreneurs who are in business, right? But we never stop learning. We can always get better, right? And our newsletter will provide each of you with information that you need to take your business to the next level. And then also, we're going to have speakers at each of these monthly meetups that we have. And these speakers are going to provide you with knowledge, wisdom, and insight in their area of expertise to help you grow your business. Then we're going to also provide relationship building. And there's relationship building that takes place at our monthly meetups. So we're going to have a monthly meetup each month at established male entrepreneurs' venue, their office, their business, their place, wherever they conduct business. We're going to have a social networking platform, which is basically going to be like LinkedIn for men, black men only. So we can exchange information, we can network, we can grow partnerships, all of those great things that we need to do. And lastly, the affiliation. It's our vision to create the fraternity for black male entrepreneurship. So if you're at the airport and you see a brother with the crest on his lapel pin, you already know he's part of the network. If you're at the grocery store and you're leaving, or the coffee shop, and you see a brother with the polo with the emblem, you know he's family. So that's what we're trying to create. Last but most importantly, we're going to also provide mentorship. So obviously, the students that are in the entrepreneurship program are going to have mentors to guide them through the entire process. Each of these mentors is going to have a different area of expertise. There's going to also be the opportunities to connect with others at our monthly meetups, just like you guys are doing right now. So, there's no sitting in the corner. Everybody needs to break bread, walk away with a few business cards, and connect. And then lastly, for the seasoned entrepreneurs, there's an opportunity for you to give back, and this is very, very important. I run into several business owners who want to mentor and who want to volunteer, but they can't find anybody who looks like them to provide that knowledge and that wisdom and that insight to. And that's very, very important if we're going to create an environment where we can sustain and grow our communities. So there's a couple ways for you to get involved. You can apply for the entrepreneurship program if you're a brand new aspiring entrepreneur. You can apply to become a mentor if you're an established entrepreneur who wants to give back. You can sign up for our mailing list and you'll receive our newsletter, updates about our events, and all the wonderful things that we're working on. And then if you own a business and you would like to host a meetup, definitely let us know and we can make that happen. And lastly, but most importantly, we also need speakers at each of these events. So let's say you have expertise in marketing, branding, finance, operations. We need to hear your voice. We need to get your wisdom. We need to get that impact. Is there any questions? All right, thank you for your time. Walking off the stage too soon. I'd like to introduce our keynote speaker, the owner of this beautiful establishment, Mr. M.E.N. I'm going to let him explain himself because his list of accolades is so long and I'm sure I'll miss something. So I'll let this brother get up here and introduce himself, get that microphone right. I know I have some trouble with Will. There we go. All right, Mr. M.E.N.
Cool. How's everyone doing?
Good.
Man, everybody's tired, I see. Saturday night, you guys ready to go out and do something else? But thank you guys for being here today. I just want to tell you a little bit about us, our organization, kind of where we're going. But ultimately, really talk about why we do what we do and also why this is important that we get people together to talk about important things. When we first got started, I see some folks that were here from the early days, and we started very, very humble beginnings, right? This used to be an unemployment office for the state of Illinois. It had been unoccupied for 4 years. And when we came in, there was a lot of people that said, what are you guys going to do? We said, we're going to do a tech and entrepreneurship incubator. And many people said, yeah, right. How are you going to be able to pull that off? What do you have that is going to make this something that's going to be interesting, fascinating for people to want to participate in? And truly, they were right. We got started and we said to ourselves, you know what are some of the small wins that we can have moving forward to get people to believe that something is possible, right? Anything is possible. So that's where our organization got started. So we started at the top, right? So this is kind of this side of the room, and it was the hardest thing I've ever had to do, but we've had a great team that's really been able to come together and do some amazing things that are not just great in Chicago, but all across the world. The fascinating thing, though, is we all started with community, and we had a purpose in mind in saying, what can we do to make Chicago better? What can we do to make our communities better? But also, what can we do to have people that look like everyone here in the room actually be able to thrive and move forward in many ways? So we were able to add some enhancements over time, over some blood, sweat, and tears, and some grassroots opportunities. But the great thing about it is, you know, we've been able to finally see our vision come to fruition. And ultimately, why I was excited about this event and this organization, and thanks to Jason and Jasmine and Danielle for putting this together, this should be normal. It should be normal that we get together to talk about business. I saw an article that came out a couple weeks ago that said, hey, if your friends are not talking about business, if your friends are not talking about finance, if your friends aren't talking about entrepreneurship, you need to get new friends. So hopefully this is the beginning of a lot of new friendships, or reconnecting with old friendships to talk about things that truly matter. And I think ultimately what we've seen with the election, and I'm sure many of us aren't exactly satisfied, I'm sure many of us weren't satisfied with the other pick too. So what we also need to do is think, how can we come together? How can we come together to really use... So how can we come together? How can we link our resources? How do we make sure that we push the agenda forward so that we can create jobs, opportunities, and create ultimate sustainable communities? And hopefully this is one step, right? No one has all the answers, but everybody in this room has part of that answer. And I think when we come together and able to put those things together, some fascinating things can happen. So one of the things that I've been very fascinated with is this whole idea of cooperative economics, right? The whole idea is that, hey, we all have 100 people here in this room. We bring something to the table. Someone starts a business. We shop from that person, and they end up helping to fund that person that ends up hiring someone's father or someone's cousin, or give someone an opportunity that otherwise wouldn't have an opportunity. So I saw a Malcolm X video that I regularly watch, and it talks about, why do we think that anyone owes us jobs or opportunities? We have to create the businesses to be able to hire the people that we want to see. So we can spend all day trying to beg people to be a part of our businesses and allow us to try to walk through the door and hire our cousins, right? Or we can build that business and give that person that chance, or that skill, or that opportunity that they otherwise wouldn't have. And this is true of all communities, right? These are facts that that people tend to hire people that look like them, right? They call it pattern matching in Silicon Valley. They call it implicit bias in other communities. But it's our job to create those businesses and how we're able to move those things forward. One of the things that I'm really proud of with our organization is, over the 3 years that we've been here, we've paid over 100 people a check at some point in time. May not be big checks, because we're still grassroots, we're a nonprofit, but there are a lot of people that have benefited and been able to participate in their dreams, and that's kind of what our organization was aimed to do from the beginning. So you imagine, as we move forward, as our organization moves forward, as our team grows and the opportunities start to expand, we see ourselves as one of those solutions, right? But we still have vendors that we would like to purchase from that look like us, right? We would still like to support other organizations and institutions as well that look like us. So that's why I'm proud that you guys are hosting this event here at this venue, right? Because it's easy to host it downtown, right? Everybody shows up with their blazers and looks really nice, and you're in a downtown posh venue. But it's important to really support organizations and institutions that are trying to further your agenda. So one interesting thing I just heard past couple of days, a song by Rick Ross, and I'm not saying everybody's got to listen to Rick Ross, right? He says some things that I don't like. He says some things we are not proud of, right? But it was fascinating to me that he has a song called Buy Up the Block. Interesting, you know? And he's talking about buying franchises. He's talking about buying real estate. He's talking about building his community brick by brick, and instead of moving from that community, actually building that community. And I think that's powerful, and hopefully this is the sentiment of everybody in this room and different things that we can do moving forward. Because once again, we have to do this thing together, and that's the only way it's going to happen. So some of the ways that we do it. We introduced a platform called the Blue Fund. Tracy Powell, who's here, helps chair that. It's our opportunity to say, how do we combine everybody that wants to support us, wants to support the entrepreneurs, wants to support the work that we do, and do it in very small, incremental, bite-sized pieces. So imagine everybody in this room, if you brought one person next time, and everybody came with $25 in their hand. And imagine if there was an entrepreneur here at front who needed $2,500 to get their business started. And at the end, we all voted, and that person got that $2,500 to get started. It's not going to send somebody to the moon, but at the end of the day, maybe that's that difference that get everyone started. We have those opportunities and platforms and resources right now to get that stuff going. There's no excuse. It's $25. Many of you guys, if you guys are going out tonight, you're going to spend $25 on 2 drinks. Based off the way you guys dress, I know you guys go to the nice spots. Right? So what kind of things can we do collectively to bring people together to actually spend real dollars, to do real business? And if somebody fails, so what? So what? Obviously, we want everyone to be successful, but we need to allow people to make mistakes, to fail that first time, to fail that second time. I failed 1,000,000 times before this thing got going, right? So people say, oh yeah, it was great that you're in the New York Times or these other places. I still think about the times we failed, or when we had events no one showed up, or the times I called the press and said, hey, can you guys cover us? And no one wanted to do it, right? I heard all the times that people said, hey, well, we go to this place that's downtown because they got rich people that ultimately won't invest in you, but they got rich people over there, right? How many times do we have to hear that, right? How many times do we have to truly be in other places that don't support us, that don't support your organization, that don't support your economic incentives, and think something's going to be different, right? So these type of opportunities are important to get people together to talk about that. One of the things that I'm really big in is just taking a look at what we can do with franchises. So that's a big piece that I want to make part of my 2017 agenda. Because number one, we need to find more avenues for people to actually have gainful employment, right? Not everyone can do Uber forever. There needs to be an opportunity where we can buy franchises in our communities, seated with people that we want to work with, right? That actually care about the community and get that dollar circulating back in those communities. We can do that. Rick Ross told you can. He's talking about buying 10 Denny's and a Chick-fil-A and something else in the song, right? It's a little different than his Poppin' Bottles song, right? So in a short time, I'll just talk about some of the lessons learned that I had with entrepreneurship. And there's many along the way because we've had some great times and we've had some tough times. This is not easy and it's not for the faint of heart. It's easy to celebrate the successes. It's very hard to look yourself in the mirror and figure out what you're going to do next. It's so hard. And what people don't understand is just how much time it takes. You see people saying, hey, well, you need to have more balance in your life, right? Oh, you work too much. Well, you know what? That's what it takes. That's just what it takes, And I've been studying a lot of these different folks like Elon Musk and other people, Jack Ma from Alibaba, and see just all the stuff that they went through to actually get something done. They eat, sleep, and drink their business. That's just what it is. But the biggest thing is you have to have a purpose for why you're starting that business or that opportunity. Maybe you're saying, I want to start this business because I want to employ 3 to 5 people for my community. A very good purpose. Because you go back to that purpose when things get tough. When you're looking up at 3 o'clock in the morning, you're like, man, I spent 150 hours this week working on this business, and I'm still short on money. And I'm going to I'm not going to say anything that shouldn't surprise you, but you will run out of money at some point in time. Right? You know, there are highs and peaks and valleys when you start a business, any business, and it's how you respond to that. So some people say, well, I don't want to start a business because I don't have enough money, or I need to have $1 million or $2 million. It's not perfect. You're never going to have enough money, even with the best of plans. But what you're able to do is look at that purpose of why you started the business that you started. We started Blue 1647 because we believe that folks in the community can learn tech, can excel in tech, and needed a place, an intentional space, where they knew good things were going to happen. Whether they were going there every single day or not, they needed a place that they felt good things were happening. They also needed a place for folks from other communities to be able to see that there are intentional efforts taking place. I didn't want, what I saw throughout Chicago when we got started was they had their minority programs. And they still do in some different places, right? They have their minority programs, and it tends to be watered down. It tends to not be the real stuff, it's the digital literacy piece, right? But if you have kids that can operate phones and can build stuff and make stuff on their own, why are we teaching them just how to type or turn on the computer? That's not interesting.
Yes.
Right? So why don't we spend that same amount of time to teach folks how to code and build applications, right? Or be part of a culture and a community that truly cares about their progress. And that's the important thing, and that's what keeps me up at night. So when someone says, oh, well, you know, you guys got press, I don't care about press. Press is cool because it lets the people that are the gatekeepers feel better about taking a chance on it. And some people think, oh, because you got press one day, that opportunity is going to come down the pipeline. That doesn't happen either, right? What I truly care about is our purpose, our journey, and why I want to spend 200 hours a week, if there were, to be able to work on this opportunity, because it really matters to me, and it's something I think about every single day. Something that takes a lot to die. I mean, I was reading about it on Wikipedia, and you can cut off its head, you can, you know, throw dynamite at it, and it will find a way to still survive and evolve and thrive. And just look at the history of it, it's just amazing to see how this insect was able to still be just part of the world, right? But, so I heard Paul Graham from Y Combinator use this analogy in one of his startup schools. So it's not just me saying it, I took it from Paul Graham. And one of the things about being a roach and starting businesses, you have to be around long enough for good things to happen. Some people think, hey, it's going to be 6 months, or 12 months, or 18 months, or 24 months, and you're going to finally get there. It's not going to happen, right? But you can find small wins along the way. And being like a roach, you have to be very resourceful, right? I read that, hey, for 45 minutes they can go without air, right? So think about your businesses you may want to start. How long can you possibly go without everything that you possibly may need? And for our organization, that meant that I had to take a lot of sacrifices along the way. I still do, right? So someone can see your Facebook post and think that you're just jet-setting with a lot of different celebrities or cool people. No, you're doing the work, right? You're doing the work every single day. If you look at Ken, who's in the back, that dude works harder than me. You know, for a while, I used to get mad. I'm like, how's he going to stay up a lot longer than I am? Right? But that's the culture of our organization, and that's the culture of the people that are attracted to you and why they do the work that they do. So think about, for your companies, how can you possibly survive until good things are able to happen? And then when the great things happen, everybody wants to talk to you, right? Everybody is fascinated with the work that you do. What was in the last slide? Okay, I forgot what was in the last slide. It's on my phone. Give me one second. What was on there? Scroll down. Okay. All right. Well, the last takeaway is find good people that actually care just as much as you do. The great thing about being here today is some of you guys have made a conscious step to say businesses matter, and we want to be around other people who care. Because there's a lot of things you can be doing on a Saturday evening. But it's really the people that you work with that makes the work as rewarding so that you can find your purpose or maintain that purpose that you in fact started. It's hard, but it's fulfilling. And imagine if everybody today said, you know what, I'm gonna put $25 into one business. And next time we're gonna bring 2 more businesses that we're gonna support. Imagine the kind of jobs and opportunities that are going to be able to be started from this organization. So I'm thankful for the opportunity to share a few words of some of our work, but I also want to encourage you and encourage Jason and everyone who's starting organizations to help entrepreneurs to really get to the point where we have outcomes that truly move the needle. And it's about jobs. It's about revenue. It's about outcomes. And until we get to that point, I don't care what your idea is. I care about the outcomes. I care about how many people we're able to employ and how can we keep those metrics so we can keep telling that story. We need to change that narrative, and we can only do that ourselves. We can only do that as a community, and once we change that narrative, it'll be normal for everybody else who's 13 years of age, who's looking up at us, expecting us to do amazing things. So thank you. Woo.
Okay, here we go. All right, thank you, Emil, for those inspiring words. And everybody wants to give Blue 1647 and Emil a round of applause. Thank you for letting us host this tonight here. We definitely appreciate it. I feel like what Blue does is the spirit of what we're trying to do, and I feel like those values align, so this is the perfect place to have it. For the next 20 to 25 minutes, what we're going to do is we're going to have some sign up. So if you're interested in being in an entrepreneurship program, as far as the training program, if you're interested in mentoring, if you're interested in, if you're not on the newsletter, if you're not on our mailing list already, if you signed up on the Eventbrite, you're on our mailing list. We already got you. We do that. But if you're not, then make sure you go back and you see Danielle or Jasmine, and they can definitely make sure you get on. But what I wanted to do was, because I know we're talking about this entrepreneurship program, I just kind of wanted to give you guys an overview of what it'll be covering. And then I also want to, before I go into that, I want to talk about what our newsletter this month will cover. So each month, the newsletter is going to cover a different theme. So it's going to be, you're going to receive it once a week, and it's going to have links to podcasts, articles, on content that's important to help you launch your business. So this month's theme, with it going into the new year and with it being the holidays, is relationship building, which is a dope and sexy word for networking. But networking, that's overrated. Like, everybody always uses that word, networking. We're about relationship building. So if you already signed up, each week you're going to receive an article. You're going to receive an email that has links to different articles, podcasts, videos that can help you improve your networking game, your relationship building game. So be on the lookout for that. But what I wanted to cover was what our classes will cover. So a little bit about myself, because I know somebody teaching entrepreneurship, you want to kind of know what they're doing. So pretty much, I owned my own consultancy for 5 years that did business development and organizational development consulting. It was called Identity Engineers. I did that from 2009 to about 2013. Some clients that I had included McDonald's Corporation, Roosevelt University, Granger, and a couple other big organizations. So from there, I started consulting at the Chicago Urban League, and I teach their entrepreneurship classes. I teach 2 of those entrepreneurship classes. So when I took over their entrepreneurship classes, they were only having a 50% success rate. After I took over, we're at 90% graduation for all of those classes. So pretty much, I'm bringing that same passion, that same expertise to teaching these classes. So I'll be the primary instructor, but we're going to also have different experts who come in as well and teach certain classes. I'm not allowed to teach a law class because I'm not a lawyer, right? But Jamal Jackson, who's not here, he's nice, so he's a really good attorney, so he'll be the person covering that. We're also, if anybody has a finance background, business finance background, if they're interested in teaching those classes, reach out to Danielle or Jasmine as well in the back, because we're trying to finalize candidates to teach those classes. But I'll talk about what we're going to cover. So the first class is going to be like a self-assessment. So and it's called Know Yourself. You're going to learn, your personality type, your strengths as an entrepreneur, and how you can utilize those to launch a successful business. So this is going to kind of be like a self-reflection class, and that's going to help you understand who you are and how you can grow. And I also forgot to mention I have a tech startup called Convo also. I launched that in 2015. And that's an app, that's a platform that uses personality compatibility to help people break the ice at networking events. So, I'm really passionate about personality psychology, so that's the reason I feel like it's important to know yourself as an entrepreneur so you can know what you're stepping into, so you can know your strengths and how you can maximize your potential. The second class is going to be called the Blueprint. What you're going to do is, a great business solves a problem, right? So pretty much we're going to help you identify what problem you're solving and how you can, do research and everything to make sure that it's something that's valid, that the market actually wants. The last thing you want to be is a business chasing a problem instead of a business solving a problem, right?
That's deep.
That's real. Third class is going to be on accounting basics. It's called Get Money. Does anybody notice the thing with the titles? They're all rap lyrics or like verses and things like that. I thought that was pretty cool. So the fourth class is going to be branding. It's called I Got a Story to Tell. So what you're going to learn is you're going to learn your mission. You're going to develop your mission, vision, core values, your brand archetype, which is a platform that a lot of major corporations use to tell their story as brands. So we'll go into that, help you identify that, so you can use that and learn how to leverage that into your brand messaging. The fifth class is going to be called 21 Questions, and it's going to be focused on marketing research. So pretty much, you're going to learn how to identify your customers' geographics, demographics, psychographics, their trigger behaviors, all the things that dictate whether or not a person will buy from you or not. The sixth class is going to be called Hit 'em Up, and that's going to be focused on your marketing. So you're going to develop your marketing strategy, everything from your awareness strategy, engagement strategy, your product delivery, your retention, and your aftermarket, your after sales strategy. So everybody looks at marketing just as an awareness, thing. Oh, I got to get these flyers out. I got to do the social media. But how do you cultivate the whole customer relationship? Because marketing is more than just about them becoming aware about your product. Once they become aware, how are you getting that fourth sale instead of focusing on that first one? So this class takes you through the whole customer relationship so that you can learn how to develop strategies to ensure that you secure, once you got those customers, you secure them. The seventh class is on operations. It's called Every Day I'm Hustling. And in that class, you're going to learn your key activities, key resources, and key partnerships. And then you're going to also develop an organizational chart. Session 8, if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. Pretty much, you're gonna understand. It's gonna focus on your finances, understanding the cost of your key activities. You're gonna develop a basic operation budget, and you're gonna create itemized costs and budget. And then session 9 is going to be called More Money, More Problems. It'll be introduction into personal and financial management software. You're going to identify the pros and cons of each software, and you're going to determine your methods for submitting and receiving invoices. Session 10 is called The Boss. That's going to be focused on teaching small business owners transformational leadership principles so that they can grow their business. So a lot of entrepreneurship classes focus on like technical skills, like how to develop a budget, how to develop a marketing strategy, how to this. But how as an owner of a business who got employees, or as an owner of a business who's trying to recruit people and you ain't got a lot of money yet, how can you inspire them and encourage them to join your team, to put their all in and to reach their full potential? And that class covers that. Pretty much, there's a scientific way of doing this. It's called transformational leadership, and I'm going to show you guys that. Session 11, I'm not a businessman, I'm a businessman. Focuses on pros and cons of different legal entities, and you're going to learn how to determine the best structure for your business. And last, but this is the most exciting part, is the takeover. this is going to be the demo day where the graduates, pitch their businesses and they have an opportunity to showcase all of their learning. So that's the whole overview of the particular program. So if you're interested, make sure you reach out to Jasmine or Danielle or myself. We're in the back. Raise your hand. Those beautiful ladies back there. And definitely sign up. Also, we're going to be looking for places to host these meetups. If you're interested in opening up your place of business, definitely let us know. Go back and let us know. Also, if you're not, like I stated earlier, if you're not in the newsletter, make sure you sign up. We have some really great stuff for you guys. Regardless if you've been in business 5 years, 1 year, 30 years, you can always learn more, right? We're always learning. So pretty much that's it. That's all I have to say. You guys can go ahead if you're interested. Go see one of the young ladies in the back. And if you have any questions, I'm around. And you can continue networking, drinking beer. Getting whatever's left of the pizza, and that's it. Thank you.
Yeah, you can reach me on LinkedIn, man. I don't have that card. Yeah, I love it. If I can help anyone, man, feel free to reach out.
I've been pondering RPA, I know my little experience has something I probably want to do later. Right. At some point I want to do it.
Okay. Yeah, I'll help you make moves. I also recommend, have you heard of MLC?
MLC?
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, right.
It's a program designed to help minorities get into help me, like in the business school. The prep program, kind of the year before you apply, you go through and help you think, like why you want to do it, what you want to do, and help you think about how to study for the GMAT, write the essays, and all that. ML4T.org is the website, so you can take a look at that. Yeah, man.
I'm putting everything right now.
I know, I got you. I'll do something.
Pleasure to meet you, sir. Thank you. I'll be in contact. Yeah, I can tell stories about there's no way I'm starting. But you know,